I waited on the Lord for a very long time for one of the biggest prayers of my life. And at the end of 2025, he answered it. And when he answered it, he didn't just answer it. He answered it in a way that was so intentional and specific. It was so unmistakable that it could have only been him. And it still brings me joy to think about it. But yet almost immediately after answering that prayer, I noticed that part of my heart started quietly moving on to the next thing I was waiting for, that we were now waiting for. Why is it that after a miracle, the soul so quickly starts like reaching again? Part of the answer is not spiritual failure. Part of it is just a neurological reality. The human brain is wired for survival, not satisfaction. And what we call joy is expressed through dopamine. And dopamine's purpose is unfortunately not contentment. It is pursuit. It helps us hope. It helps us endure. It helps to keep us praying while we wait. But once the desire is fulfilled, then the dopamine level falls and the brain immediately begins scanning for the next unmet need. So the very system that God designed to carry us through the waiting is the exact same system that our flesh uses to say, well, what's next? That doesn't mean that the blessing wasn't real. It just means that my need is louder than my memory because I'm a human. Scripture already names this. Israel watched the Red Sea split and days later asked for water. And we like to say it's because they were faithless, but really it's because they were human. Ecclesiastes says the eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. And everyone knows the proverb, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. But notice it says fulfilled, not sustained. Fulfillment on its own isn't going to last. And I think that's why God answers prayers sometimes so big in a way that almost feels excessive or ridiculous, because it leaves no room for coincidence, because he knows how quickly I'm going to forget. He knows what a squirrel I am. He knows that my heart needs an anchor. It needs an altar. It needs a moment that I can return to when desire starts to gnaw at me again. Because the reality of the situation is, even God's gifts, even a gift that big, they were never meant to end my longing. They were meant to point me back to his presence. So I used to pray, Lord, take away my desire if it's not for me. But now it's something like, teach me how to linger with you in the blessing and in the waiting. Because maybe gratitude isn't about staying satisfied forever. Maybe it's about remaining aware of who he is, even as we begin to wait again. And maybe restlessness isn't necessarily a flaw. Maybe it's just proof that we're not made for this. We're made for eternity.